Hey guys, welcome to my vegan kitchen. I'm Michelle. So you guys are always asking for chickpea recipes. Well, do I have one for you today? This recipe is super simple. It's so delicious. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, tap on that bell, and let's cook. All right, guys, like I said, this recipe is super easy, and you only need a few ingredients. We're gonna use some chickpeas, obviously, garlic, onion, and we're also gonna use frozen spinach, which is not here because it's still in the freezer. It's keeping frozen. So we're gonna start with chopping our onions and our garlic. We're also gonna use chickpeas. Now, chickpeas, you can either use chickpeas from the can, or what I like to do is buy the chickpeas dry. So once I buy it dry, rinse it, and then I soak it overnight in water. Once I soak it overnight, so about 6 to 8 hours, let's say. 12 hours is probably the longest I've soaked it for. Once it's soaked, I will cook it with a little bit of salt and water, and then while it's still hot, I place it in a glass jar, so like a mason jar or a jar like this. And that's it. I can have this unopened for up to 2 weeks, or once I open it, I try to use it up within 3 or 4 days because then, it will spoil a little faster because you've opened it up. But that's it. So let me get all of this chopped and ready to go. I have my skillet on the stove. Once I add some hot oil to that, we're good to go. So let me start chopping. All right, so I chopped about half of a yellow onion and 3 to 4 cloves of garlic. Now, you can use less garlic if you prefer. However, I just find that spinach with onion and garlic is such a nice flavor mix that I like to really pile on the garlic. All right, so now that we've moved to the stove side, my skillet is heating up. It feels nice and hot. So we're gonna add some oil, and I'm just using grapeseed oil. You can also use olive oil if you want to. Then we're gonna add in the onions. I like to give the onions just a couple of minutes to just kind of loosen up a little bit, not to totally fully cook, but just to get a little bit of translucent before I add in the garlic, especially because I don't want the garlic to burn. So that was literally a minute. Now I'm gonna add in the garlic. Get all of that garlic in there. And I'm gonna give it a little bit of stir just to get the oil on the garlic. Again, we don't want this to burn. So again, I'm gonna give it another minute just so the garlic and the onions can release their oils and just become friends. I've strained the water from my chickpeas, and I'm gonna add the chickpeas to the pot and give that a nice little stir. So now that I've given my chickpeas, onion, and garlic about 2 minutes to become friends, just to heat through, now I'm gonna season everything up. I'm just gonna use black pepper. Very simple seasoning here, guys. This is just some fresh ground black pepper. And I do wanna add, please use fresh ingredients. It does bring out the flavor of these recipes so much better. All right, I like black pepper, so I'm using a whole lot of black pepper. So get my black pepper in there. Then I'm gonna just use some Japanese barbecue sauce. I haven't sprung this on you guys in a while. You could either use Korean barbecue sauce or Japanese barbecue sauce. It's just gonna give it just more flavor than your regular barbecue sauce. This one I actually get at Costco, but you could find it at just about any grocery store. I've seen it everywhere. And I just really go in on those chickpeas. I just kind of cover the bottom with that sauce. Now I'm gonna add some nutritional yeast. This gives it just like a little pop. I don't wanna say that you don't need it. If you don't have it, yes, you can skip it, but I would really suggest that you use some nutritional yeast. As you can see, I'm down to the bottom. I need to grab some more. So I do about 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. I get that right in there. Give it a nice stir. Everything is starting to bubble. You can see it's caramelizing. It smells so good. All right, once we get it to this point, we're gonna add in the frozen spinach. Now, notice I didn't add any water to the pot because this frozen spinach has tons of water. Add as much or as little spinach that you like, but I would suggest add more than you think because spinach really cooks down and shrinks down. So once you get the frozen spinach in, just kind of spread out your spinach just so it gets heated through, because now we're gonna add some coconut milk. And this is the full fat coconut milk, the one you would get from a can. I just transferred it to a glass jar, the leftovers, so I can, keep it fresh in the refrigerator. I'm just gonna pour my desired amount. Remember, you have a little bit of liquid from the spinach, so you don't have to add any water. I'm just kind of spreading it out a little bit, and pretty much that's it. You're not gonna do anything else to it. Maybe turn the flame down just a little bit, and we're gonna cover it. Give it about 2 to 3 minutes. And all we're doing is really allowing the spinach to melt, just the ice from the spinach to melt in your dish. Go ahead and clean up because this is gonna be ready any minute. All right, so while the food cooks back here, I just want to show you guys the nutritional yeast that I use. A lot of people ask. Now, if you're not near Trader Joe's, I totally get it. You can find nutritional yeast in just about any grocery store. Whole Foods has it. I have seen it at Publix and also Kroger. That's what I have in my area. But this is the one that I love. And like I said, I just need to fill up my little container. So instead of keeping it in this plastic bag, I just put it in just like an airtight glass container. This package actually fits perfectly. The amount fills up perfectly, my little 1 tablespoon cup. And that's how I store my nutritional yeast. And you keep it just in the dry pantry. You don't have to put it in a refrigerator or anything like that. Nutritional yeast is so, I don't even know how to explain it. Some people say it's cheesy, but yes and no. I put it in almost everything. It does add B vitamins to almost anything. So nutritionally, it is good for plant-based or vegan diets. All right, I gave my recipe about 3 minutes. So let's remove the cover. Come on in so you can see what it looks like. And that's what it looks like. Like I said, don't worry that at first it didn't have enough liquid. It will make liquid. But guys, just look at how creamy and delicious this is. Give it a nice stir. Make sure everything is combined. Your recipe is pretty much done. And this is that easy. And it's so good. So let's turn the flame off and let's plate this up. All right, friends, here we go. I don't even know, I don't have a name for it, but it's creamy chickpea spinach something. I don't know what to call it. I'll find a name. By the time the title goes up, they'll have a name. We're gonna pair our chickpeas, our creamy spinach chickpeas with some rice. You can basically though pair this with just about anything. You can use roti, you can use a nice good crusty bread. I just find it easier to just put it with some rice. And this is just jasmine rice, some nice steamed jasmine rice. Let me grab a spoon. All right, let's dig in. Come in so they could see it's still totally creamy. What's so nice about this recipe, it's a great way to get fiber, protein from both ingredients. The spinach is gonna give you some protein, but it has a ton of fiber, also iron, and the chickpeas, tons of protein and fiber. This is just an all-around delicious, really good meal. We did add coconut milk, but those are good fats, so don't be afraid to add coconut milk. All right, here we go. Just spoon it on. Just get a little bit there on the side. Looky, that's what it looks like, guys. All right, let me dig in, but let me get a picture first. Hold on. Let's dive in. All right, let's get some of that. It's still a little bit hot, even after the photo session. This is one of those meals that will surprise you. You're thinking, oh, it's just chickpeas. And a lot of people complain that chickpeas are very hard. If you cook it yourself, it's not. This is nice and soft and tender. You don't even taste the spinach, but you if you like spinach, you taste it. If you don't like spinach, you won't taste it because there's so many other flavors going on in here. This is really, really good. It's simple to make, like you saw. Honestly, it takes about 12 minutes. Like whenever I'm cooking it, it takes about 12 minutes, but we're gonna call it a 15-minute meal. Okay, so thank you guys for joining me in my vegan kitchen. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember, tap on that subscribe button, hit the bell so you get all the reminders whenever I come out with new recipes. And thanks again for joining me, guys. Bye. Enjoy.